Jarvisbiker. April 22nd, 5:31 p.m. Just got off work, came home, got the rig ready, put the drone in the back. It's pretty windy. I don't think it's coming out. We'll see. If it dies down a little bit, maybe we'll get her out. So on the initial flight, I screwed up the file. What I did was I disconnected my phone from the remote control unit, and that made it that the file never finished saving on the chip. So yes, it was a sad thing. So the drone works really good. It's fairly easy to operate. I just don't like running it in the wind. I can't hear it because the wind blows. You can't hear it running. You don't know whether it's getting into trouble or not. And I just kind of went, okay, we'll just wait. So, and I can see why people sell them after they get them. Like it's kind of like moto vlogging. It's kind of like moto vlogging where it's, oh, I gotta get it out, I gotta set it up, I gotta get the remote out, I gotta set up the remote, I gotta do everything, and then it's okay to use it. And I was like, ooh, that's gusty. So I can see where people get discouraged after a while and they don't use it, but I think once it gets to be warm weather, I think it'll be more for the group rides, and we get to a destination and we get them all parked. I'll probably fly it up and photograph the bikes, and hopefully they'll use them on the group page, promote our bike group a little bit. I know we're looking for some members. We got enough if everybody came out, but there's a lot that for whatever reason they haven't been steadily coming out. So I've only met probably half the people that are actually members of the group, and I was in it since July of last summer. I think I ran into one of the founding members and talked and had a coffee and said I was looking for a place to go, and he said, well, we got a group, and if you're interested, you know, just go on the website and do the application, and you know, and it's been a good thing. Like, love them, like the nicest people you'll ever meet. And yeah, it was good. So I know they liked the videos I made. I know that they appreciated getting them photographed on their bike and actually seeing their bike in action, which I don't get to see. I'm gonna have to put a camera on one of the others so that my bike gets a little bit of video as well. Let me get somebody to let me put a handlebar mount on so that I can put one of the five cameras that I have, hook them all to my remote, and I can run them from my bike. So I think that's about the only way I'm going to get footage of my bike. So the drone, I think it'll get used for that the most. Some of the new intros and things, and some special videos where we're on site somewhere, and you know, there's a photographic opportunity arises, a scenic spot. We'll have it so that it's ready to go. And so I finally was able to get extra batteries, because I didn't buy the value pack or whatever, the service pack that goes with it, that you get the extra batteries and the charger. I ordered the charger separately. I got it was on shore here, and then you couldn't find batteries for these Mavics, so they didn't exist, and you were on a email list to get notified when they had them, and then if they always seemed to run out before I got there. So I ordered 3. Back in a minute. Breeze rolling again. Alright, so I think we'll go up here to the next road, and we will head in the Brantford direction for a change. Do the back country up through there. So I'm interested to get this video edited. Because I bought new software, and it's got a few more tricks up its sleeve that the other one didn't have. It's a little more it's a little more complicated, but it's also got some more added features that actually make it easier to do certain things. So I'm looking forward to giving it a whirl on a full video with 3 cameras and see how I make out. One thing I do like about it that I saw last night, just playing with it a little bit, was when you drop the 3 files, so the 3 different views, you got your video from each one stacked on top of the other, and then you pick which view you want as your main one. And but if you cut a section out, the other ones, none of it moves, it doesn't jump, so you can get it all together. And so you can get it all together and then highlight everything and move it all at once down to join it back up again. It's not where the other one, I would cut out part of the main video and it would automatically jump down, but I'd lose my spot where everything else was synced to the other line. So, and then that's why you see a lot of the Jarvisbiker videos don't end up with 3 views, even though you see 3 cameras in certain places. You don't see them the consistent whole way through, and that's because the sync got so far out of sync that it would take you days to get it all back together because you were cutting pieces out of here and there, and you know, you do it once or twice and then it was like, the hell with this, like it's not worth it. So I'm hoping that this version of it, once you get everything cut out, you can kind of move things down and keep everything together where it's supposed to be lined up. So there was this guy. You see me, bud? Yeah, you do. Thanks for not killing me. So I gotta delve into the CB problem and see what's going on with that. And you know, if the border was open right now, I'd have been in Ohio and had the pros looking at it, or you know, helping me out with it a bit. Although I did finally connect with a trucker out there on that one, and he said everything was fine, but he was a long ways away. It was very, very faint to me that I was hearing him, and I'm thinking maybe he just didn't hear the buzz, not close enough. So I'd really like a couple more opinions on it, but so they're starting to talk about opening things up. I know down in the States they're talking about the end of this week that they're going to start letting them have, like, barbershops would be able, hairdressers would be able to open under certain restrictions. And a few other restaurants down the States, which are restaurants, most of them are open. The majority of them stayed open, but you weren't allowed, you had like curbside pickup or just walk in, take out, that was it, drive through, that kind of thing. So you know, it's been a little bit of a challenge to you're not going in and having a nice fancy sit down meal. It's like takeout food and that's it. And you know, we're getting by, but you know, we used to like to take the princess out once or twice a week and a nice dinner, and you know, it's not happening right now. And but that type of thing, I don't know how long it's going to be. Probably another month before that transpires. But the weather is just not cooperating. We've had rain and snow squalls, like blinding snow for like 10 minutes, and you know, the ground turns white, and 5 minutes later the sun's out and it's gone. It's just, and it's cold. Like right now it's only 41. Like my shield's fogging up as I'm speaking, and she's cool, but we're getting by. Heated suits helping out immensely, greatly. Let's go this way. We're in Waterford, Ontario, small village. Cute little town. Work's slowed down a little bit. Phone's not ringing as much. Small orders, nothing big. Everybody wants the big orders held up. They want to hold back till the next quarter, so probably going to get a little bit of breathing room on a few of them, so help us with the other ones. People still off, not coming back because they got people at home that wouldn't survive a COVID hit, so key people too, so ooh. Lots of quarry, big quarries full of water. It's like little lakes. This will be Highway 24. Left takes you to Simcoe, right takes you to Brantford. Almost nerfed third gear. I don't know where all the fuel tankers are going. I know people are still using gas, but I don't think we're using it in the volumes that we're accustomed to. Still seeing quite a bit of truck traffic for fuel. So the switch for the fog lights is in, and we'll get that in. It also had the wiring harness for the sound for the speakers, rear speakers. I got new tail end of the wiring harness for that. New wires. They're getting pretty brittle, so that showed up, and I got it ready to. It's just been so cold out in the garage, and you know, you gotta put boots on, and you can't just walk out and fiddle around. It's not conducive to old guy wanting to stay warm, so it's not hurting anything with me driving it without it, so I'm not really worried about it. Next time I got 10 minutes to take that cover off and plug it all in and do up the screws, I'll take care of it. But so I see a lot more of the moto vloggers that were basically staying home through the whole thing, doing the right thing, so that people weren't complaining on them. But I see now they're starting to edge out, going around the block, going to the store. So things are starting to lighten up a little bit, and I think, you know, it's going to be, oh, look at that fella. It's going to be soon that everything will be back to normal. Got to get some warm weather though. That's the only thing that's hurting us here. I think we need the heat to get it knocked down outside on any surfaces that could harm somebody. So sunshine is an amazing thing. Vitamin D and all that kind of stuff. That'll help you along. I don't know whether you saw in the video there, but the Sportsman Club there, as soon as we're open for business again, I'm gonna go see those folks. I've been planning on, but just never pulled the trigger on it, getting my gun license and doing some target shooting. I used to, when I was a kid, I used to, you know, out on the farm, I had, you know, a little target set up all around, took care of all the vermin on the farm that were a danger to the cattle and that for my dad. And, you know, I'd be out and I'd run through maybe a half a box of bullets in an evening, and I'd be out 4 or 5 times during the week. I'd go out, get my chores done, go out for a little walk before dark. So since I don't play hockey anymore, as I used to be a goalie, and I used to be out all the time because goalies are in high demand, getting too old for that game anymore, so I've been missing winter activity other than overhauling my motorcycle. So I was thinking that this was probably something that would keep me occupied and wouldn't be a really extravagant hobby that, you know, it'd be a little bit of expense at the start, but I think the course you have to take, it's a 2-day course. You have to do the long gun course first, and then you can do your restricted handgun and restricted weapon, you know, like AR-15s and stuff like that. They're considered restricted here in Canada, so so I'm kind of looking forward to getting back into that target shooting. And we have friends in the US that when we're there we do target shoot, because their state is, you know, it's legal to have handguns and go out in your yard, and they got a firing range set up nice and safe, shooting into the side of a hill, and targets all set up, and you know, their neighbors do too. They all have. So it's quite an accepted practice down there. So, you know, we've kind of tried it already several times and really enjoyed ourselves doing it. And I think the Princess we'll eventually maybe get into it a little bit. She was 100% no guns for years. Didn't believe in them, didn't see a need for them, and you know, thought they were just for killing. That's all she thought, you know. And after being with our friends and at their home and giving her basically he's ex-military, he showed her the proper way to hold the gun and proper etiquette for handling the firearm, and gave her all the safety tips and showed her everything and stood right with her while she shot and coached her, and she enjoyed herself. She probably won't admit it, but I think she did, and I think she kind of enjoys going down there and participating a little bit in that activity. She shot an AR-15 at the 270, 273, whatever the caliber is. And he explained to her, it's the same as a wooden hunting rifle, semi-automatic. It's the exact same thing. It just looks like a military gun, and that's what those mass shooter guys, they think they're Rambo and they gotta have that fancy military gun, but they could have walked in there with a hunting semi-automatic and done exactly the same amount of damage. And that's the bad part about, they don't educate the public that those guns are just exactly the same as those other guns in the rack. But oh, that's an assault weapon. No, it's not. It's a semi-automatic. Assault weapon would be semi-automatic, full auto, you know, 50 bullets in the clip stock without upgrading your clip. Like, I mean, sure, that thing's designed to kill. That's what it's made for. It's a military gun. These AR-15s aren't that. That's my 2 cents on that. I think everybody should be able to have a gun that's, you know, been a good person, and you know, they got a clear head, and they're okay with the world. I don't see any problem that everybody should. In Canada, you can't have them. The only reason you can have them is for sport, and certain cases you can have them for, this is restricted weapons, so like pistols and stuff like that. You can't carry a pistol on your person that isn't unloaded and in a locked, and it should be in your trunk, unless you got like a pickup truck that you can't put it in the trunk and you got to have it in the cab. But you know, you got to have it someplace with a double lock on it and all that kind of stuff to be okay for that. And there's exceptions to that. If you live way up north and you're a hunter trapper kind of guy and you live up there, you can have a firearm holstered on you for protection, so bear attack and that kind of thing. That's what it's, and for shooting bear, I mean, you can shoot with a, you know, you'd want like a 357 or a 44 Magnum or something, and make sure you're gonna knock them down and not just piss them off. But that's the only reason that anybody in Canada would be allowed that. You're not allowed to own a handgun for personal protection and keep it in a safe in your house or in the drawer or under your pillow. That's 100 against the law. You have a criminal record for doing it, and you'd never be able, they take all your weapons away from you. So it's a little bit different here than it is in south of the border. It's more restrictive. And we still do have mass shootings. We had one this week. Right now it's at 24 people. And totally planned, totally, guy either had a car replica of an RCMP cruiser made or bought an old one and, you know, put the lights and everything on it to make it look authentic again, and put on a, I think it was a legitimate uniform I think he had, and he ended up killing 24 people, and one of them was a beautiful RCMP officer, 24-year veteran, you know, been given back to her community all her working life, and then that zero had to come along and do that. It's the RCMP officials that were speaking when they were notifying the public. I mean, their voices were just quivering. They were just so brokenhearted. The RCMP, they're a pretty tight group. Everybody kind of knows everybody one way or the other through academy or moving around the country and working in different precincts, and so they're a tight knit. Oh, and on the musical ride with the horses, they all, I guess, I think they can just volunteer for that, and then they get training and do the equestrian ride for, they can do it for, you know, they sign up for a while and go on travel and do all that, and I think she was in on that as well, or had something to do with it anyway. So yeah, so we have our problems too. We got our crazies that can't handle the pressure and gotta lose their
low battery.
Oh, low battery. So it's we don't have the problems with guns that they do in the States, but we do have, there's a couple of shootings every night in Toronto and other cities as well, not maybe as frequently as Toronto, but there's a few around the country every night. Vancouver is another spot that's pretty heavy into it, and so the crooks, they all got guns, and wherever they're getting them from, a lot of it was transporting them across the border. Dude, don't throw stones at me. Relax, get up on the pave.
Low battery.
So we'll turn that noise off.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. So, where was I? Oh yeah. So the crazies are, the criminals are out there. They're armed, and we can be armed, but we can't use it against them. So if one of them was robbing your house and you pulled your sport gun out and defended your property and yourself, you would get a gun charge against you, and they'd take all your guns away, even though you saved your family from imminent danger. That is just the way it is. That's the law. You can't use a gun against anybody, no matter who. And there was a guy that shot a guy and killed him. The guy was breaking into his truck, and he come out the door. He brought his gun with him, just a hunting rifle, small, like 22 cal. And he come out and told the guy to get out of the truck, and the guy got out and turned towards him, and he shot him. He said, you know, I thought he was coming at me, so I shot him. And he's an ex-Canadian military guy. He was trained to handle a firearm, and, you know, trained in that kind of scenario, and it tripped his switch that he thought that guy had to go before he did. So, and he was acquitted on the first trial, and then the officials appealed it, and I believe it was on something that the judge's instructions weren't correct, and so it went to higher court, and they said to give him a retrial. So he's back at her again, and you know, I guess they'll figure it out whether he was doing something bad according to the laws of the land, and he'll have to either pay for it, or they're going to say that he was okay in doing what he did. But not saying that he did what he did was good, not saying that it wasn't, just don't know. Waiting for powers to be to figure it out for us. So you're in Paris, Ontario. Cute little touristy town, lots of little restaurants and stuff. This place is packed in the summertime. Like, you get stopped by pedestrian traffic. You can't get down the street. You gotta wait for the pedestrians. And they don't all take the crosswalk. There's Stillwaters. That's a good restaurant. Good food. Good peeps. There's a bakery, all kinds of little shops, chocolate. The Grand River runs down through here. That's right there, and it goes down through Cambridge and Paris and down through Brantford, Caledonia, Cayuga, Dunnville, and into Lake Erie then. Yeah, nice little town. I used to play ball up here every once in a while. We'd come and travel up here and play against these guys. Beat them every time. Never lost. 12, 13 years old. We thought we were king shit back then. Ooh. Lots of divots. It's a really good barbecue place over here on this other side of town there. When we were coming down that hill, when we stopped at that stop sign, if I'd have gone right there, it takes you back over onto another street there. There's a pretty good barbecue place there that we'll get to. We just found it last summer. Didn't even know it existed until then. And so we run over, found it, went back one more time, and then that was it. Summer was over, and put everything away for the winter. And so we'll be going back as soon as they open up. Another place we can go. Pizza place. People waiting outside for their orders. And whether they got that back in the US or not, whether they're all shut down, you can only cook out of your house, but we've got it that you can call in your order and come pick it up. Even hardware store, you can call it in and you drive up and they bring it out to you, whatever you ordered off the, you just tell them off the catalog on the website, and you just tell them what you want, and if they got it, they'll bring it out. You pay online, store pickup. So they're doing that as well. And some of the restaurants, they're only working, say, 2 or 3 nights, so they might do a Thursday and a Sunday, or they do like a Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So Thursday they get you on payday because you got the cash, so they want to get that grab. And then the weekend traffic, they want to get, you know, people trying to have something a little bit more fun to eat, for give mom a break at cooking, because she's been cooking all week on the mom or dad. So that's interesting. Turn up the pants, get them a little warmer. It's a little cool. So the food, that's the situation there, and that's the gun situation in Canada. The headline news, we've taken care of the big part of that. The numbers are going down rapidly, which is good. The local old folks home, that's not so good. We're up to, I think, 24 dead, and I'm starting to hear the names of the ones coming out of there, and a lot of them that I've heard, I worked with their husbands back when I was a young fella, just starting out in the industry, and I worked side by side with these old guys, and they taught me all the stuff that I know. And back, oh, this is a good road. Excellent road, nice and smooth, got a little twisties in it once you get out and rolling. Oh, look at this road. There's a couple of tar snakes on it, but not real bad. You can kind of filter your way through them. And we are in Cambridge. That's probably far enough for now. We'll cut over the other way, get over to Water Street, and we'll come back through Brantford City, the edge of the city. Or do I turn around and go back this route? It might be, I think we'll go the other way. We'll do the loop. So this is Cambridge, Ontario. Another, I guess it's a small city. It's not a town. It's big enough to be a city. It's kind of hooched onto the side of Kitchener, Galt area, Waterloo, Guelph off up a little bit farther up and off to the side. So People out walking. Reasonable day. It's 37 degrees. It's dropped. I felt it was a little cooler. I don't know where I am. I'm coming in from this side of the city. I think I gotta go down that way. Yeah. Oh, settle down, buddy. You ain't got nothing there that's important. So I'll just run this out to the end, over along the chip glass. So I'll put my ending in right about now, and I'll say this is Jarvisbiker, saying thanks for coming along and thanks for the ride. Make sure you like and subscribe. And oh yes, so doing the analytics on my videos, I see that there are hundreds of people looking at these videos, but yet I only have 52 subscribers, and thank you for all those 52. You other guys out there, hey, sign up, push the button, like the videos, subscribe. It all helps me figure out what everybody wants to see. Comment, like or don't like, and you can have some fun watching these videos. Alright, this is Water Street. Anyway, good night from Jarvisbiker. We'll see you again. Bye.